There are some people that believe if I'm a competitive shooter that I'm training only for competition. Speed is the only thing I'm focused on. I'm not accurate. And then if I'm a defensive shooter or a law enforcement or military guy, accuracy is everything. And I don't necessarily subscribe to that. I think in terms of the competitive world and the tactical world, we're all trying to do the same thing. We're trying to make the bullets go where we want them to go as fast as possible. But some decisions we make in training can kind of skew the outcome of that training. USPSA shooters, we're trying to get alphas as fast as we can, regardless of distance or difficulty, right? We're trying to be very visually precise, find a very small spot on a target with no aiming reference, and hold the gun steady and shoot very aggressively at the target. And I would challenge that the exact same thing is happening in the tactical world, especially where we see officers in terms of engagements. We're trying to do the same thing. In the competitive world, this would be an aiming reference. But sometimes in the tactical or defensive world, this becomes the scoreable zone. If I set up training where I make the scoreable zones, I print a target up and it's got very small scoreable zones on it, I'm kind of pigeonholing myself into one way of aiming in terms of confirmation. I'm still doing all of the same things competitive guys are doing, but what happens a lot of times is because the perceived shot difficulty or the perceived target difficulty is so great, I force myself into one aiming scheme or aiming strategy. And for most guys, it's high levels of confirmation. It's a stop stable dot that looks like a dot. Where I would challenge that there's value in training both ways. I think shooting is shooting. Doesn't matter what context you put it in. Understand how that training should look. And I think most people find that the practical approach to training and what practical shooters are doing is probably the right way. For me, throughout my whole shooting journey and a former life, that the practical shooting was a consistent game changer in terms of performance. I believe when we come to the range, we always train shooting in absence of tactics. If you're a law enforcement guy or military guy, when you're doing tactics, you can't do that in absence of marksmanship. So understand how you set up your training. If I was to make one statement of what we're trying to do as tactical shooters or as competitive shooters, we're trying to make the bullets go where we want them to go as fast as possible. So make sure that you're structuring training correctly. Don't get pigeonholed into one way of application that you think dictates how you have to train.